Welcome to the Blind But Not Broken podcast, a journey through resilience and perception, where every mile reveals a new insight. Join us as we navigate the road ahead.
Hey guys, this is Junior. Thanks for watching. This is Blind But Not Broken podcast. Today I want to talk about music. I talked a little about Boo before, and we went and saw his mother and his grandmother, gave them hugs and told them we loved them, that kind of thing. And that was a sad time. But it got me to thinking about music. And music and laughter are they are the keys to people's souls. I truly believe that. And sometimes I mention it in the podcast and when I'm in talking with people, etc. There are certain things that just touch you. And I talked about Tim McGraw's his song, Live Like You Were Dying. It's a great song and it makes you think. Lots of songs when I was trucking, one of the things I told you I went to a lot of different concerts when I was laid over. And I would go in the back entrance because where the docks were, because I could get in for free and they all thought I was part of the crew, which was phenomenal. But what the neat part is that the music controlled the mood. It was like it's like I saw Metallica, for instance. So Metallica was very in your face, really rock and roll. And it got your heart beat up. It was something that you could work out to, but it wasn't really great for, say, if you wanted to reminisce or something like that. It wasn't, different music's good for different things. For instance, in the 80s and 90s, they had a lot of good bands out there, a lot of good rock and roll bands, and they had a lot of good country bands that were coming out. They had like people like Travis Tritt, Tracy Lawrence, and Michael Johnson. And the songs were really heartfelt. Most of them were really heartfelt. Tracy Lawrence has one that talks about you find out who your friends are. And it's true. You find out who your friends are when things go wrong and when you're not at the top of your game anymore, because everybody wants to be your friend when you're at the top of your game. If you're Michael Jackson, everybody wants to be your friend, or everybody did. If you're whether you're a politician, whether you're a entertainer, whether you're a singer, whether you're Stephen King, people want to be your friend until you're not famous anymore. And then all of a sudden they just kind of, while you're famous, it's like a lottery winner. When a lottery winner wins, people come out of the woodwork and say, "Oh, I'm related to you," and "Oh, I need this and I need that. And, oh my God, it's life and death," and total crap. It's like piranhas, and that's one of the reasons why I don't play well with others. Again, when I get the equipment I need, I will go live and I will talk to you guys live. I'm able to call into me and that kind of thing. But I got to get about $5,000 worth of stuff first, and that's going to take a while. But anyway, back to the music. Didn't mean to ramble there. The music, it'll put you in a different mood. If you're listening to, say, Tracy Lawrence, Find Out Who Your Friends Are, you actually start thinking about that. That's who you think about. You think about your friends. You think about what they've done, how they've done it, cool parts, little parties you had, or the fishing trip you took, or the vacation you took together, or whatever it is, on a picnic, and different things. It's like you listen to the Carpenters and it makes you reminisce. Listen to Barry Manilow, and he's got a lot of songs that are incredible. And most people don't realize it, but Barry Manilow did a lot of jingles and stuff, like State Farm is there. He wrote that. Everybody knows that jingle, State Farm is there. Barry Manilow, he wrote it. Wrote a lot of jingles, and he used to play piano for Bette Midler, for God's sake. I knows these kind of things, but it's true. And watching them live, it was back when there was no auto tune, and people had to have honest to God talent. It didn't, you weren't becoming a star. People that got nailed, it's like Milli Vanilli. They got nailed because of the fact that they were lip syncing. And then everybody said, well, we really love their music. And I told my niece at the time, I said, it's not, oh, I told my niece, it's not music you like, it's the way they look. And she goes, no, it's not. And I went, okay. And then I waited a year. And when the people that actually sang for Milli Vanilli, when they actually sang and put out their own album, nobody bought it, including my niece. Point proven. they liked was the look of them. Oh, they looked cool. And that's the thing. It's like music before it's got a guy named Christopher Cross who did a lot of good stuff. Um, did the theme for Arthur, the movie. If you've never seen Arthur the movie, it is an excellent movie. It's Dudley Moore and Liza Minnelli, and you'll love it. It is funny, it is awesome, it is sweet. It's a really great movie, and I suggest you watch it. Anyway, but the point is that Christopher Cross was a big guy. He had a voice of an angel, but he was a big guy. And the minute video came out, Christopher Cross's career damn near went in the toilet because people saw that he was a big guy. He wasn't no thin, really super good looking guy. He was a big guy and he was awesome. But it didn't matter because, it's like the song Video Killed the Radio Star. That song could have been written about Christopher Cross. I don't know if it was, but if it wasn't, it should have been because that what it was. I'm always what you're looking at these different things. It's funny. I look at things. There's a video out there that I suggest everybody watch. Everybody. It's called God's Glasses. All right, and it's a short little film. It's a short little thing. It's like 4 minutes long, but it will change your perspective so much. A lot of people, by the time it's done, are bawling their eyes out. But because it hits you, because the way they're showing you something that is so plausible and you don't know how to take it. I'm like, oh my gosh. I like that. It makes you ask yourself that. And it is a wicked thing, a wonderful thing. Anybody can watch it. Kids, adults, everybody. But it's called God's Glasses, and it's a really good thing and really good video. And I suggest everybody watch it because it will tweak the way you look at things. Um, Different things. Video has made it to where people can look at different things. It's like in the 80s, most videos that were put out, like Def Leppard and all these things, they didn't really make much sense. They were just, hey, I'm cool, watch me sing. Def Leppard could sing. They were awesome. But some of their videos were out of this world and they didn't match at all. Even today that happens. Although some of them are good. I met Atkins who sings I Miss This. Something you might want to watch too. Trace Atkins, you're going to miss this. It is a marvelous song, and the video literally is just for that song. It's perfect. It's a perfect video. And it is one of those things that really gets you right in the heart. And it's so true. There's not any fluff, any bull. It's just truth that he puts out in a song. He's also got Badonkadonk. Now, that's an awesome one too. That's funny and awesome. But just may not be for children, but not bad. It's a bad thing. And the way they do it very tastefully. But songs can do different things to you and in your soul. Comedy, laughing, Badonkadonk, that'll make you laugh. Um, to Stevenson. That's another one. He'll make you laugh your buns off with some of his stuff. Um, Not like people have gotten too I don't know. They've gotten too sensitive. I mean, it's supposed to be a nurturing and a word I'm looking for is supposed to bring us together. Like a community. That's what it's supposed to be. Everybody loves certain music that bring you together. That's what I love about country music. Now, outlaw country music, I liked that too, but not as much as I liked like the 80s and 90s country. You had a lot of women that came out. You had Taya, and you had Gail back then. That was the 80s. Hair was literally down to the floor. It was amazing, and she had a voice that was out of this world. And she's actually related to Lynn. I think it is. She's related to. But then you had like Torrance and band and Alabama. Alabama had a lot of stuff. I even had a song about trucking called "Roll On." Um, there was a lot of different artists back then, and then of course you to the '90s, and you kind of early 2000s, they kind of ran. Then you had Rascal Flatts that came and took over kind of. They were a group that could harmonize. And now you got people that do things without any musical instruments like Home Free or or pentatonics. These are things. They're wonderful groups, singers. You can find everything you need. Now, I've never liked uh, myself, never liked rap because it was so much too in your face. But I do like a couple of rappers. Um, I'm gonna say them on here because of the fact that honestly, you start getting really close to political there, and I don't want to deal with political. I'm dealing with music, which is a thing, and but so much different stuff out there that you can do if you're from this era or the last say 20 years. You should go back and look at some of that old stuff. The Carpenters, the voice ever in human history was Karen Carpenter, bar none, arguably the best voice ever. And she sang like a songbird, and it was amazing. And she was taken way too soon by anorexia. And it's a really sad story. You can get into that through AI. You can get into that and find that out. But you can find all these different, and singer-songwriters, uh, different things. Roxette, perfect, perfect duo. Notes, another perfect duo. And they sang about stuff that was incredible to them, and it just with everybody. I mean, better left unsaid. That's a song by Hall and Oates that if people have not heard that or video on it, and again those things where it's right on the cusp of when videos started to make sense, and but the song itself, if you listen to the lyrics of it, is amazing, and it's so true. Song title, "Some Things Are Better Left Unsaid," speaks for itself. There's much different, music out there that when I started my channel, I wanted to share music with people, and people were giving me ideas, and Spanish people were giving me ideas for Spanish singers. And I was listening to some of these, and I didn't know a word they were saying, but they sounded so beautiful. Some of them were insanely beautiful. And uh, it will be the love doing that. Now, YouTube didn't let me continue doing that because they kept hitting me with blocks and that kind of thing. So therefore, nobody could see the stuff. And it was like I got tired of redoing my whole thing. And so, what can I do? And then I went blind, and that me that do a lot of different things and a lot of different stuff with you guys that would maybe potentially change your lives. And that's what this is all about, changing lives. Again, music, laughter, changing lives. If you've ever seen Who's on First by Abbott and Costello, okay, it's the cleanest comedy you'll ever hear, but it'll make you laugh your buns off because it's so genius. Listening to a roast with Sammy Davis Jr. and Pack, and uh do roasts and stuff. And Sammy Davis Jr. and Flip Wilson and all these guys, they had Dean Martin. You have to worry about offending people back then. You didn't have to worry about offending people back then because it was jokes. People took it as a joke. Talk about, to see a certain person, a certain type of people, unless they, in a dark room, unless they smiled. You talk about crap like that, and it was considered comedy because it was, because those people roasted everybody. Didn't matter who you were. Didn't matter your race, didn't matter your creed, didn't matter your religion. They roasted everybody, and it was awesome. And if you ever want to go back and look at those things, they're all on YouTube. There's a ton of them on YouTube, and they're funny stuff. And I'm surprised they're still on YouTube because they're very not in today's day and age. If you did that stuff, you'd go to jail and be beaten to death in the first night. I mean, that kind of world now. And that's why I think maybe what we need is to go back to that kind of thing where it wasn't so much political crap. Everybody laughed at everybody else. It was fun. It was. I lived through it. I know it was. And it's like, all fun and games. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying, oh, it's the perfect time to grow up. No, there was a lot of crap that went on too, like the kids and things like that. That happened a lot because nobody really did anything about it. You know, problem we have is that everybody goes way too far in the solutions. I mean, from over here no solution to way over here where the solution's so big time, it's like said something mean, you should get the death penalty. Really? And it's like if you murder somebody, you get 2 years and you're back out living your life. Really? Can we at least admit that a little weird? Well, that's the point though. You have all that reality that hits you all the time. And a way to take a little break from that crap, music and laughter. I'm telling you, it'll make your soul sing. It'll make your soul smile. That stuff. You do some personal development, that'll help too. Trust me, I'm living proof. And I wouldn't be here right now if it weren't for personal development. But it was a huge part of when I was trucking. I used to have full concerts in my truck. Most people in the shower, I would take in my truck, I'd have it up cranked up, and I had a great stereo with multiple big speakers, and I'd go down the road just singing my buns off. And people would go by looking at me thinking I was absolutely nuts, and I didn't give a shit. I could care less. It was awesome. I had fun. I would smile at them. Hey, how you doing? And they would smile back 90% of the time because they had no clue what I was doing. Having a total concert. I was a legend in my own mind on a stage somewhere, road. And it was awesome. It was phenomenal. And I had a ball doing it. And it also took a lot of stress off of me because it could be stressed because I didn't deal with a lot of people, but I did deal with some people when I was on the road. And some of the people I dealt with were real not people. I can't think of any other word for it. I would say something else, and I thought, wait a second, I thought better of it, personal development. Anyway, they were not nice people, and so you're a little stressed out when you have to deal with those. And some of you people are dealing with people like that all day long. If you're in the medical profession, or you're in the hospitality profession, or you're a cashier at a grocery store, no matter what it is, you're dealing with people that are hostile, the bad day or whatever. And it's like you with so many of those people and you haven't done personal development that morning, then it just drags you down. If you have done personal development, it's like that armor you put on in the morning. That's why I do personal development. But those people, everybody, all of with this stuff. And it's like music, a great way to bring yourself back into harmony, smiles, feeling better. And it's a great way to do it. It is. What I'd like to hear from you guys, what I'd like to hear from you guys um, about kind of music you love and why do you love it? What does it do for you? Like rap music, and you say, wow, it makes me smile. Okay, cool. The lyrics on it, what does it say? To a friend of mine who loves rap music, he just loves rap music. And he played me some, it was like, all it was well, beat that hoe and cops and all kinds of crap. And I was like, and this makes you happy? Have you listened to the lyrics? Well, no, I like the beat. Well, okay, but the lyrics, you're telling this person by buying their stuff, you're telling this person it's okay to talk about killing cops. You're telling this person it's okay to talk about stringing somebody up. It's okay to beat the hell out of a woman if she doesn't give you sex, whatever. Why would you support that? And if you're supporting that, I would like to know. Honest to God, I'd like to know because I'd like to learn this. I mean, I like to learn. Learning is awesome. If you learn, you get better. You get better. Better around you. And so, but I would love to hear from everybody out there what it is that you like, what music, what comedy. I was growing up, they had the sitcoms they had, or whatever you call them. It was like Mork and Mindy. Okay, it was like The Odd Couple. These were comedies that made you just laugh to where you would gag. You had All in the Family that today, in today's day and age, if All in the Family was made, oh my, yeah, that's no. Everybody in the whole, where whoever was making it, whoever was watching it would get shot to death today. It's ridiculous. Stop taking ourselves so seriously. That's what we have to do. Because honestly, life is a wonderful thing. You have it, make life whatever you want it to be. Doesn't matter how much money you have. I don't have squat for money. All right. Yeah, when I was on the road, I did make a lot of money, and I had a lot of money. And then uh people in my life that I because I knew nothing about money, I knew nothing about anything. I would take my 150 a week and live on that, and that's what I did. And I was making, at one point, I was making millions a year. I had a decent bank account, and yet, all said and done, I didn't. Why didn't I? Because I didn't buy a house back then. I bought to buy a piece of property and I built a house, but that I paid cash for. But the point is, it was all said and done. I didn't have a pot to piss in, really. And that was because I trusted people I shouldn't have, which was my fault. Mine. I take total responsibility for that. But the way I get myself out of that, when I start to go into that music, laughter, pulls me back up. Get on here and do this, because this is way out of my comfort zone. And like I said, when I get my equipment that I need, that I can work it with my hand and put my hand on it and get used to it, you guys will be able to call in, I'll do a live podcast. Then you're going to have to deal with this. But I do want to hear from you. I want to hear from you about your music tastes, what you do, what the music does to you. You may like a lot of different music. You may like rap. You may like country. Okay, what does rap do? What does country do for you? You like symphony, and you may like rock, roll, heavy duty, metal. Okay, what does symphony and what does heavy metal do for you? You may like opera. Whatever you like. I want to hear from you. If you're like, I want to hear from you. Like Italian music, I want to hear from you. I want to hear from everybody. I don't care who they are, because I want to hear about your music and the comedies you like. And honestly, even if you are like, well, I don't know anything about any of this stuff, so ask me pointed questions, and I will answer those pointed questions. I'll steer you towards some awesome stuff, because I've got a crap ton of useless information in my head, because I truck drove for so long. I got a crap load of useless information, and I would love to give you some. I could stand to lose some. I can't stand to lose any more brain cells, but information, I could do that. But like I said, these I'm telling you about, and trying to get across to you is that you have a choice. Like every time, you have a choice every day that ends in Y. Same thing. You have a choice in makes you feel good, what doesn't make you feel good. Everything we do, it releases endorphins, and we feel good about them. It's like if it puts down, it will release endorphins that make you feel fairly good. Not in a good way, but makes you feel fairly good. On the other hand, if you help somebody, for instance, you're in line at the grocery store and you know the woman behind you that's super poor, and you tell you're paying for her groceries, that will release endorphins that will make you feel awesome in a really good way. And it's also changing somebody's life. I'm not talking about giving the guy on the corner that's smoking Marlboros and got, the mug and it's got the Coke and all the brand name stuff, and saying, gee, I'm homeless, I don't have anything, and just give me money. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about somebody you actually notice that actually needs help. Help them. Totally depressed outside or whatever, outside the grocery store, and you saw them as you walked in. They were totally depressed all by themselves. We bring them a flower from inside the grocery store. That one gesture, it costs you what, $1? That one gesture can change somebody's life. Can change their life right there, and you made a change in a day that ended in Y. Pretty cool how that works, huh? It is amazing. And it's an amazing feeling. But what you got to do is get yourself to where you get those good endorphins going and not those shitty endorphins. And it's hard, because if you're used to, when somebody says something, you're used to kind of down and, better and blah, blah, blah. Okay, will be. If you're used to that kind of crap, it's going to be a bummer for you to switch over. But you can do that. If you want it bad enough, you can do it. You want to become a better person, you can do it. Trust me. What do you think I'm doing? I do my personal development and stuff. And, you got to be hungry. Because it's true. You do. You have to be hungry at whatever you want. Want to change the world like Tony Robbins is doing. If you want to change the world, that man's fed over 1 billion people with a B. That's what he's done. And he wants to go higher and higher and higher. I mean, the program he's got right now, if you're not into AI or haven't thought about AI, artificial intelligence, like sort of your on your phone or your app or whatever, you get all these different AIs, and you can change your life for the better. AI will. And Tony is actually putting on a 3-day event, the 23rd, 24th, and 25th of April. It's called the AI Advantage. If you're on Facebook, he's got multiple ads on Facebook. But if you go to AIadvantage.com or whatever, you can sign up for it free. Free. Hours a day for 3 days. It's what started me on AI a year ago because I was petrified of it. And now I'm teaching others about it and I'm doing other things for others with it. It has made it to where I'm not just what I was looking at as not being worth much at the time, you know, changed my life. I wouldn't be able to be doing this if not, but I can do this and I can do the version. You know, I need a little equipment, but I'll do the live version with AI. AI will actually be answering the phones, you know, depending on what you want to do. There's all kinds of different things. And if you message me and tell me you want more on that AI Advantage Summit, that's what it's called, AIadvantageSummit.com. If you want more information on that, message me. I will be glad to put it out there. I just can't remember it all right on the top of my head. And I have Aura happens to be off right this second, so I didn't turn her on because I didn't want her interrupting this. I wanted to be very clear with what I was doing today, and that was the laughter and music and changing you fundamentally inside and how you can do it quickly with different things. And if you haven't found that yet, look at different music styles, look at different things. I mean, you look at it like a mariachi, for instance, compared to a Metallica. Okay, so you got mariachi band, you got Metallica. They're totally different, but they're both beautiful. They can both be beautiful. Their music, you know, in whatever you're looking for at the time. That's what it boils down to because each individual, like music, each individual genre of music, you know, or artists will create a different feeling inside you. But you have to honestly choose to that feeling and then go listen to that song and go sing or whatever. It's like have it by yourself. Who gives a shit? Sing like there's no around, like there's nobody. Because reality is that when it all comes down and it's said and done, you're gonna wish that you had sang like nobody could hear you. Because it doesn't matter if you sing like off key. Man, when I sing, it's like whales humping, you know. But it's true. But that's the point. It's like matter. As long as you're the one and you're getting what you need out of it, that's what matters. Anyway, as I've always say, if you want to change, you want things to change, you have to change. You want things to get better, you have to get better. You can choose, because it is a choice, to do that any day of the week that ends in Y. You can choose to do that. It's all up to you. You know, you used to be pissed off, or you can choose to be happy. I recommend happy because it's a marvelous thing. Anyway, thank you guys for listening, whatever. And I've created something that you'll be thinking about. Like I said, if you get a chance, shoot me a message. I would love to hear the music you listen to and why you listen to it. And you know, I would love to listen to, you know, give me suggestions. I mean, I'm too old not to find out about new stuff. So, all right, guys, thanks so much. I hope you choose to make this your best day ever because it is a choice.